Watch the clock, it's goal for Bolt, and again, he's done it again! Taylor, one last chance to launch a massive one. Oh my goodness me, that is absolutely huge!
Watch the clock, it's so very, very quick, watch it, it's 1:42.38, world leading time by a long, long way.
Okay, welcome to our third episode of Watch the Clock. I'm Dom.
I'm Ananth.
All right, let's get this thing rolling. So this week the Diamond League was back after quite the long break after national championships and that kind of stuff, and we're back in Birmingham, which is in England. So yeah, kind of a smaller meet, like you mentioned, but some interesting stuff happened. So let's get it rolling.
Yeah, let's get it rolling. So I guess the flagship event or the blue ribbon event was the men's 100 meters.
Can we? So I saw. Sorry to cut you off, but I saw that the IAAF posted it was a star-studded field or something like that, and I won't.
They did
pretend that.
Yeah, I mean, it did have some big names. Simbine was in there. DeGrasse was in there.
Big names.
Johan Blake was in there.
2009.
I mean, to be fair, they have done they are still at the top this year. So
I know that's ridiculous, man. I'm so freaking sick of these people who are so old winning Diamond League races in the 100. I don't get it, man.
You think it's time for Usain Bolt to make a comeback?
Yeah. So after we talk about the results of the event, I'm gonna tell everyone else my spicy prediction.
All right, go for it. All right, so let's just recap this real quick. Johan Blake won with 10:07, which I called, by the way.
Oh my God, you did. You definitely called it. Oh. And
but I mean, it was a pretty. Go for it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say it was a pretty disappointing time because he has run sub 10 this season, and also they had a plus 2.0 win behind them. So I don't know. I was expecting at least a 990 something.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, just because when you threw out that prediction last week, I absolutely was not willing to go for it. Anybody but Johan Blake, right? Just because, where's he been for the past 3 freaking years? And then I guess all of a sudden here he is, and he's winning the Diamond League meet, and it's one of the least important meets, I guess, because like you said, Simbine's here, and I mean he's run mid 980s this year, but at the same time, there was no one else there.
I mean, don't forget the 2019 Pan American Games champion Michael Rogers.
Yeah, right. Can't forget about him. What was he? American runner-up too.
I think so. Yeah.
Technically third place behind Coleman and Gatlin.
Right. That's right.
The little one.
But yeah, very disappointing 100 meters there.
Yeah, the IAAF cannot pretend like they want to hype up the 100 meters for this event. They could have covered anything.
They really were. Yeah, I mean, they were hyping up the 100 meters and the women's 200 meters, which was worthy of hype more so. I feel like because you had 3 people who are running fast this season.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then who's the fourth that they were hyping up in the women's too?
Was it Daphne Skipper?
Yes, the Guliev of the women's 200.
Oh my God! But to be fair, she is defending world champion.
Yeah, but I guess maybe they just feel obliged that they have to put her in there.
Yeah, exactly. Right, they have to.
Conversation. Just the same way as Guliev is the defending Diamond League champ or whatever, but
that's true.
World champ, right? Because
World champ
is the Diamond League champion from last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think anybody is expecting Guliev to win anymore. They just have to put it
No, I don't think
for
so.
courtesy.
I don't even think he's gonna run sub 20 in his whole life ever
No.
again.
Which is fine, you know. I mean,
But, yeah.
he got his accolades, he did his thing, but I mean that dude is nothing if not persistent.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta give him respect for that.
But anyway, Johan freaking Blake brings it back in the men's 100, 10:07 subpar time. He's got to get on the better. He's got to get on the Bolt juice because whatever juice he's on right now, it's not working out for him too well.
All right, come on, chill out with that.
Speaking of Bolt, I'm gonna share my spicy prediction.
Yes, please do.
So, Usain Bolt is an older fella, just like everyone else in the game nowadays, and so he sees his friends running fast-ish, I guess. Or he sees them. So here's the deal: he sees them winning races with subpar times, and he's like, "Well, shit, I could do that, right? Because like he could run 10:07 in his sleep. He could run 9:85 in his sleep nowadays. I bet.
Yeah, I mean,
Right now, but like
he's
year of training.
Yeah, right.
So that's
And he has expressed disappointment on his fellow Jamaicans on the subpar times. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, obviously, but yeah,
let's put it to a bet. Let's make a third bet: the return of Bolt.
let's do it. All right, what's your wager?
So my wager is that Bolt comes back within the next 3 years for at least. It's not. It's. I feel like it can't be just like a one-off. You know,
like an exhibition race or something. Yeah,
he makes a comeback
for like
to the Diamond League in the next 3 years.
Okay.
And
all right,
I don't know. What do you want to wager on this?
If he does come back in the next 3 years, I don't know. We've got to think about it. But if he doesn't make a comeback in the next 3 years, I think you've got to never talk about Bolt juicing again.
I've got to never talk about Bolt juicing again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to help myself, but I'll agree to
that. All right.
Let's make this another one where you have to admit that he's juicing.
God damn it. Fine.
Right. Come on. He'll be so freaking old at that point if it's at the end of the 3-year period, when he comes back then, he's got to be juicing at that point.
All right, fine. I'll agree to that.
So yeah, there's the bet. Bolt comes back within 3 years, and if so, he's juicing. If not, then I never get to say he's juicing again. Unless if it comes out by 2025, right? That he is.
Oh man.
then he is.
Then we have the other bet there. Man, we have a lot of bets going on in parallel.
I think that's 3 now, right?
That's 3, yeah. We got the Bolt is accused of doping by 2025 bet, and then we got this one now, and then we got the 5 world records decided bet. Which actually you're not doing too bad now because we have 2,
yes,
right?
We got 2.
We've got 2.
The women's mile and the women's what was it again?
400 meters hurdles.
400 hurdles. Yes.
Yeah, 400 hurdles. And the good thing for you actually is that neither of these 2 events were like the events that we thought were going to be the ones that world records was going to be broken in. Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah, neither of them are on our radar.
Right, exactly.
Because obviously, I mean, we've got the men's intermediate hurdles. And man,
oh my God.
Speaking of, in Birmingham, we have, well, I don't know what his first name is, Capello. From Turkey. Yasmani Capello. And he wins in a modest 49.08, which I think is somewhere around a personal best for him. I think his personal best is like a 48.5 or something like that.
Gotcha.
So I was thinking the other day, what's a day in the life of Yasmani Capello, right? You're out there, you're training your ass off every single day, only to get blown out by like 2 seconds by the other guy.
I know, right? It's actually insane. And it's not just one guy; it's three guys.
3 guys who are like literally just like 10 meters ahead of you. And
Yeah, and I was
by
actually
your own right are a world-class athlete.
exactly. It's crazy. I mean, and like just speaking of that, I was watching like I guess IWF and all the other like athletic organizations were like reposting Usain Bolt's like world records because I think it was the anniversary like a couple of days ago or something. And I was just looking at like the 200-meter world record and how he like walks the field, and like I was just thinking about it, and like you know it is like everyone knows it's impressive, but like it's the Olympic Games. Like you're not supposed to be like 10 or 15 meters ahead of someone
Yeah.
else. Like everyone there is a professional athlete who's doing everything they can to like, you know, be the best.
Yeah.
But like this is one guy, or in the case of the 400 hurdles, like a couple of guys who are just like miles ahead, and it's just
That's
crazy.
a really good point. That's really cool to
Yeah.
think about. Which I guess is part of the reason that makes like world records so special.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, anyway, Yasmani Capello, if you ever listen to this, thoughts go out to you. I know that you're doing the best.
Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that's honestly really sad, but it's life.
Poor guy is gonna get walked.
But I mean, to be fair, people seem to be able to you know, to survive being average, like Michael Rogers.
Poor Rogers. Yeah, I mean, he made a decent living, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I have to say about Yasmani Capello as well, right? So you know how we usually say that people get cooked? He is not only going to get cooked, he is going to get tenderized, seasoned, and pan-fried by those 3. I'll tell you what. My goodness,
really
it's not
is.
even going to be close. I'm so excited for September.
I'm just like keeping my fingers crossed that all 3 of them get there healthy and in their like best shape. Yeah.
Yes. And since the last time we spoke, he's so what's his name? The Norwegian?
Ryben?
No,
Warholm.
Yeah, I don't know. I can think of his name. Thank you. Yeah, Carsten Warholm is now the double Norwegian champion in the 400 and the hurdles. That's kind of neat.
That's right.
I guess that means that they don't have anybody else.
They really don't. Did you see that article with his coach? That was kind of funny. I thought that was a fun article.
You want to go over that?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it was just an article going over Karsten Warholm's relationship with his coach, and you know, he has a really good relationship with his coach, and I think that's something that a lot of world class athletes have in common, where like they have an almost like friendship type relationship with their coach because they have it like a very open relationship where they can, you know, the coach and the athlete is open to criticism, which I think is very important because it's like the coach is also like he doesn't know like things that are 100% going to work. He also needs like feedback from the athlete, you know, to actually work together and do something special. And I don't know, it was just kind of nice to read that kind of relationship that they had because there was like one little excerpt that they had there, which was like, I think it was in 2018. His coach was telling him like, "Oh, you're kind of fat. You gotta lose some weight." Like the coach was telling Warholm that, and then Warholm was just like, "Yeah, you're kind of fat too." So, and then they both, yeah. And Warholm was like, he cut out beer and candy from his diet, and his coach started eating more veggies, and you know, both of them are like healthier now, I guess, which is crazy because I mean, I never thought of Warholm as overweight, but I guess at that level, every pound.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's interesting that you say that though, because literally Mike Rogers tweeted something today about that. Not specifically like the athlete coach relationship, but like the timing of things. He said, "Man, some people don't realize it's more. There's more to running than." Wait, hold on. He's okay. Sorry, I'm going to start again. Man, people don't realize it's more running track than running fast. Got somewhere.
Yeah.
But he said you got to have the right coach, the right agent, the right team around you to make sure things run smoothly.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean that kind of goes along with what you're saying.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, it's, more wisdom from Pan Am American champion or Pan Am champion Will Rogers. Did you see he tweeted
Yeah.
one down, one to go? Oh my
Yeah.
God,
I did
what a
see that.
clown!
I was like, the one down is like on a completely different level than the
Right?
one to go.
Yes,
Like, he's trying to compare the Pan Am title and the World
I
Championships.
know.
Like, come on.
Right. And I think he won in a similar time. He ran in like a 10-1 or something like that, and that's what won the Pan Am.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nothing impressive, and there was no one there to give him
Exactly.
a fight too.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, at least he has a world title now.
Yeah. So he's finally put both to rest. He has a
Yeah.
world stage title ish, I guess.
I guess
That's his
ish.
first
Yeah.
gold medal of
Asterisk.
any kind, right?
I think so. Yeah, and in like a world stage, I think
Poor
so.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of people who are living in the shadows, I feel like Michael Cherry in the 4 is like literally
Mm.
always living in the shadows.
Yes, that's right.
Because this week he got boned by Akeem Bloomfield again.
Yeah, he did.
He got fifth. Poor guy. I hope nobody took him in fantasy.
Oh my God! Speaking of fantasy, my like team didn't go through for some
No.
reason, or like I don't know if I didn't save it or something.
Really?
I just like have 0 points this week.
Dang. So wait,
Yeah, so I'm definitely.
you're
out.
saying that you made picks and then it didn't go through?
Yeah,
Dang.
I did.
Well, I wonder if we could still tabulate the points.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll probably
All right.
do that offline.
Well, tell me about your lineup if you remember.
Yeah, for sure. So I had Johan Blake in the 100.
You actually picked him?
Obviously, dude. Hey, come on.
Sabine at least run like a 985 this year.
Yeah, but Blake has also run like a 990, and he's my guy.
He didn't run a 990 this year, did he?
He ran 99 something. He ran sub 10, all right, and he's. I thought I had a good feeling about him, so I picked him.
Well, yeah.
See, the thing is, if there was like a Coleman or a Gatlin in the field, then I wouldn't have picked him. But to be fair, like everyone else in the field was also like kind of mad.
That's true.
So I did pick Blake, and that paid off.
Andre DeGrasse. You didn't want to go for the Olympic poster child, Andre DeGrasse?
You know what? I was actually contemplating that, but I decided to go with Blake.
For starters, about him, I don't think he's like a 100-meter guy to begin with. And two, it doesn't seem like he's in shape right now. So good job staying away from him.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, so you got Johan Blake.
I did have Johan Blake, and then I had Guzzle in the high jump, which didn't work out too well for me. I don't know what happened there with him.
That article that you sent me about him kind of put his life in more perspective. And to summarize what the article,
I know, right?
So he, Ghazal is a Syrian athlete, and so with all of the political turmoil going on in Syria, the article kind of talked about what his life was like living in Syria and what his training is like, because like as a professional athlete, a lot of people in Syria don't worry about athletic or sport or anything like that. And so as a professional athlete, seeing people interested in him as an athlete is really cool for him. But also like all the turmoil and stuff makes his training kind of inconsistent. And so I think that really put things in perspective for me, because I've been wondering like why he's been such an inconsistent athlete, but that kind of makes sense now. It must be really.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense, because like he said something in the article about how like high jump seems like small to him when there's so much else going on in his country, which completely makes sense. Like as an athlete, how do you go to practice and have 100% focus on like crossing a bar when you have real things going on
Yeah.
in your country. So he did say that sometimes athletics takes a backseat, at least mentally, which completely affects your training
Yeah.
and everything. So it's a tough place to be, and it's honestly like it's really inspiring.
Yeah,
what he's
indeed.
doing.
And so I hope that at least by the time, like if when September rolls around, and like if Barshim is not like in full shape yet, then I'll definitely be rooting
Yeah.
for Ghazal at that point.
Me too. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of Birmingham Diamond League meet, he got kind of smacked.
He did get smacked. I think the winner was Brandon Stark from Australia with 230.
Yes.
So nothing too massive anywhere, but
Yeah.
230 is pretty decent, and that seems to be what's getting the job
Yeah.
done nowadays without Bondarenko
Yeah.
and Barshim.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then on the javelin, I had Hoffman, which also didn't
Did
go
you
great
see
for
his
me.
throws up until the 6th round? He was throwing like literally
not.
75s up until literally the
wow.
6th round. Yeah.
Oh shit. That seems like very much like an off day for him.
So I'm glad that he at least was able to get it back into gear and throw an 82.47 to get him into 4th place.
Right. Dude, I'm so glad Roller got smacked.
God. I'm so sick of that guy. Oh, for anybody listening, it is a running joke between Anant and me that we send each other Roller's Instagram page, and it's just constantly.
He's constantly doing anything but practicing javelin.
It's anything but practice. Literally, the morning of the meet, he posted on Instagram
I know, I saw
saying
that.
Like,
like, oh my god. No, and see, like I get that athletes who are sponsored have to post like sponsored things, but like for him, it's like for every one video related to something like throwing, like for every one picture or video that is about like throwing, there's like 25 pictures that are not even just like sponsored stuff, but it's just like random stuff in his life. Which is, I don't know.
Yeah, like that time when you said that like he must have a videographer following around 24/7. You're probably right about that.
And Kevin Myers is in the same boat, but yeah, we'll get to him.
Don't even get me started with that guy.
But yeah, it was pretty surprising in the javelin. Kurt Magnus was 3rd. And then we had the winning throw was 87.75 from Cheng Chao Sun. Season's best for him. That's a pretty solid throw. Close to the 90-meter mark there. And then you had Jakub Fadlec from Czechoslovakia with 85.78. Yeah.
I had never heard of the guy from the Czech Republic.
I hadn't heard of him either. And like, given that Andreas Hoffman, Kurt Magnus, and Ruller were in the field, I thought that at least one of them would throw well. Yeah. And
I mean 85.29 from Kurt Magnus isn't the worst day. For sure. I mean, it definitely Cheng Chao Shun and Jacob, I'm going to call him. they had season bests, so I mean those are good days for them for sure.
All right.
So yeah, I mean that's men's.
And then women's 200 was a good race. I did pick Shani Miller because she has been, I think, in like terrific form this year and in past years. And I think I don't think she's I don't think there's someone right now who can beat her at the 2, which is tragic because she's not going to be running the 200 at World Championships because of scheduling issues apparently. I'm not sure if you heard about that, but people were kind of mad that even though World Championships is like a 10-day event, they couldn't find a single schedule that was, would allow people to do like very valid doubles like the 200 and 400. Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. So she will not
Hmm.
be participating in the 200 at World Championships, which leaves it pretty open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't Elaine Thompson going for the 200?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
So Elaine Thompson, Fraser Price, and Dina Asher-Smith are probably the ones to watch.
Yeah. Is Fraser Price also doubling in the 1-2?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's good for her.
Yeah. So they had the 1-2 double was possible, but the 2-4 double was not apparently. Yeah.
Also, I want to talk about what's Talu doing this year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's having the greatest season.
Yeah, she was such a staple last year, and then she just she hasn't done too much this year.
Yeah, 24-18. That isn't really world class at all. I mean, to be fair to her, she isn't. I don't think personally that she's a 200-meter runner, because I feel like she accelerates really fast and then kind of just has to hold on. Even in the 100 meters, like when she wins, it's just because she like leads at 60 meters and then people don't catch her.
Yeah, I agree. I would think that she's also a 60-meter specialist.
Right, exactly. So I mean, maybe she just compete on the 2 for training purposes. But
yeah,
even so, 24-18 is pretty slow.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's there.
But yeah, I mean, she was such a staple last year. It's kind of a shame to see her.
Yeah, I mean, she was
a little bit this year. I hope she gets back to it.
Yeah, me too.
So then, yeah, I also picked Shawnee Miller-Weibo in the 2. Yeah, I feel like she, is an incredible athlete, hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw the race, but actually she was well behind at 100 meters.
Yeah, I did see that actually.
Oh, but her stride is just so long.
She's like a foot taller than all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. A massive stride.
4 for everyone else is 5.
Right, exactly.
Which is pretty amazing to watch.
Right.
And then women's 800. Did you make a pick for that?
I did not make a pick for that.
Okay.
Did you?
I did not. I probably should have. Aji Wilson ended up winning in 2 minutes 0.76 seconds. And, I was really thinking about taking Aji Wilson, considering that, she's coming off her win at U.S. Champs. And, typically the person that I would take in women's 800 is not in competition right now.
Yeah, right.
Caster Semenya has kind of been excommunicated from the sport as far as I can see. But
that's so sad, but yeah.
That one makes me mad. Mm-hmm. It feels so discriminatory that she is cast from the sport for something that is biological.
Right. And I honestly don't even get the argument, because there are so many other things that are biological that are allowed. Like, I mean, that's like what makes sports. Like if you had a bunch of genetic clones competing, it wouldn't be half as fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like everyone has genetic advantages and disadvantages.
Yes.
And who's to say that the natural advantage she has is any more than a longer stride length or something? Like, I mean, come on, Shawnee Miller-Weibo is just destroying these girls in the 200.
I mean, she's like 6'4". Yeah, of course she is.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, and it I'm wondering if this is more political, because this is specifically targeted at a women's event, whereas I mean, you kind of touched on how a lot of people have just genetic advantages, and a lot of men have genetic advantages that aren't specifically targeted this way, and it's really frustrating to see that this is targeted specifically at a women's event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, with that being said, Aji Wilson, 2 minutes 0.76 seconds. That's still a pretty solid time, and as far as I could see, she had a few challenges from the field, but she handled it pretty well. She led the entire race and had a pretty strong finish.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, did not pick her, but probably should have. So it's something to
Right.
note for the future.
Yeah.
And then women's mile. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I didn't make a pick either. I felt like I didn't know many of the names here.
Mhm.
It's not an event that I follow too closely, admittedly. So, yeah, I didn't make a pick.
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to compare anything that happens at this event to what Hassan did early in the year. But
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
the time that Klosterhalfen put up, 4:21, is apparently merits big accolades. It was a meet record and a national record as well as a personal best for her. So, I
Right.
mean, that is
Yeah.
certainly
So
impressive in its own right. But, I mean, it is really hard to compare, once again, to literally a world record time. Um,
yeah. That's fair.
so, yeah. But, as far as I can understand, that's 4:21 is still a solid time. And
It is.
I certainly couldn't run that.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, solid time there.
So, yeah.
Yeah, women's 100 hurdles was pretty solid race. I picked Kendra Harrison.
Yeah, I did as well.
Even though I was very tempted to pick Danielle Williams, and she showed us why.
She certainly did, yeah. So Danielle Williams ended up winning in style with a 12:46, equaling the meet record of 12:46, actually set by Kendra Harrison. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but yeah, I mean she put them away. She won by 0.2.
Yeah, it's a really solid race, and honestly, she's been very consistent this season. So very eager to see what she does in.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like we should talk about that. I mean, obviously she's a contender, but is she now the top contender? I mean, she beat Kendra Harrison head to head, so does that mean that she's going to be the one to watch now as opposed to Kenny Harrison?
I don't know. I don't know if I can say that with confidence yet, but it's no like she has run like sub 12.5 on multiple occasions
Mhm.
now, and she's beat Kendra Harrison head
Yes.
to head. And also Kendra Harrison isn't like for some people I feel like I'm confident to say like they show up at championships, and I don't know if I can say that very confidently with Kendra Harrison. So it's definitely, uh, right now if you had to ask me, I would give the slight advantage to the like in the pole position to her, to Danielle Williams, but I don't know if I would go so far to say that she's like the one to watch and like the favorite.
Well, what's the difference between what you said and that?
Well, I think that she is in my mind. I think that she is like right now has the lead in terms of who I think is going to win it. But I don't like when I say someone's a favorite. I think that like like my definition of that is that there isn't really someone who's too close or like a threat to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yes. I'm gonna. I don't know. I mean, I've been such a big fan of Kenny Harrison, like the past couple of years, and when she didn't make it in 2016, I thought that was a big disappointment.
Yes, very much so.
So yeah, I mean I feel like I have kind of a bias towards Kenny Harrison.
Yeah.
I mean, I like obviously as an American, I'm going to be rooting for her, but I just feel like over the course of her career, she's gone through so much. And not to say like nobody else doesn't deserve to win, but I just feel like she's gone through a lot and definitely like has a winning spirit. So I don't know.
Right.
I would hope that she's the type to show up when it counts. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to, see what happens. This is going to be another interesting event to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean the women's hurdles is just so strong, especially in the US. It's high hurdles, so yeah, it's definitely one to watch.
Agreed. So moving on to the 3K steeplechase for women. I made a pick on this one. Did you?
I did not.
Okay, so I picked the reigning. I believe she's the reigning world champion, and also the defending world record holder, Beatrice Chepkoch. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks like she's in really pretty decent shape this year. I don't know if she actually might have lost like once head to head, but it was a close race earlier in the season. But she's run like 8:55 this year, and this one was like a little slower. She went 9:05:55, but she looked like she was well in control pretty much the entire race. So yeah, strong showing from Beatrice, and another win under the belt for her.
Yeah, that was good.
Women's pole vault.
Yep, I made it. I mean, I chose Stefanini for this, and 475 is pretty good. It's not massive because I think we have had some jumps in the 480s. I think Sandy Morris jumped 485 at Nationals.
Right about that.
If I'm not mistaken. So, but I think given the field, she was the favorite to win here. Jen Sutter was there, but she's I think past her prime now.
Yep, I agree. But that being said, her making the national team is pretty cool.
Yes, highly impressive. Yeah, seems to be a theme that older people are still hanging out there.
So the story in women's pole vault is, not no different because, aside from Jen Scher and Stefanidi, there's also Katie Nagayote, and she, I believe, is either still in or recently out of college. So she is. She's relatively young, and she got third in the American Championships. So she'll be one to watch as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously Sandy Morris as well is still relatively young, I believe.
Yeah, I think she's definitely on the younger side. She seems to be in very good form this year. And I think she is the defending world champion, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yep. Oh, women's long jump. This is...
Oh, baby. All right, yeah, you go ahead and handle this one.
So for the record, I picked Spanovic, or Spanovich. I don't know how you pronounce her name. But I sent you like the thing a couple of weeks ago, and like I knew it was going to be a nice little competition between Katarina Johnson-Thompson and Tiam Nafi, because they're both heptathletes and they're both pretty strong in the long jump. So I thought that was going to be like a good competition between them, but I did not expect in my wildest dreams that one of them would actually win.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, and in style.
In style, Tiam Nafi won with 686, national record, personal best, and a very,
I believe the personal best by like 10 centimeters.
Yeah, I think it was a huge personal best, and 686 is a mark that is world class in the long jump in its own right, which is crazy because she also has like a really good high jump mark.
Yes.
So she's just a freak athlete. And then we had two people at 685. Had Ivana Spanovic, who was the long jump specialist, who took second place because of best second jump, like better second jump. And then Katarina Johnson-Thompson jumped 685 for third. So it's just crazy to see two heptathletes in the top three at a Diamond League with jumping like world-class long jump marks.
Yeah, very impressive marks.
Yeah,
that was a really interesting competition.
Very interesting.
Because I think it came down to the final rounds, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Nafi Tiam, I believe, jumped her 686 in the fifth round. She only had like a 670 something up until that point. Oh, never mind. She jumped that in the third round.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, as I'm looking at the attempts now, Katarina Johnson-Thompson had only jumped to 674.
Right.
Up until the sixth round when she jumped to 685.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
You got in the sixth round under pressure. That's always exciting.
Yep.
And especially like as a heptathlete, or like in my case a decathlete, like you only get 3 attempts when you're doing it.
That's right.
And so like as someone who competes like in long jump at meets like more regularly than I do decats, like you always want like the extra 3 jumps when you're doing a decath, because you're like, oh man, I'm really just getting started, right? Like I always feel like I want 3 more.
Yeah.
And so Tiam Nafi did it in 3, but it took Katarina Johnson Thompson 3 more, and she certainly was rewarded with 3 more jumps.
Right.
That was cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, very exciting event in women's long jump. I also picked Spinovic, and I mean 685, like you said, is still like a world class mark.
It is.
Very, very impressive jump from Nafi Tiam.
Yes, and I'm definitely excited to see what she does in the heptathlon.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think that the world record there is under threat or no?
I'm not too familiar with what the actual world record is, but you know, in spirit of the bet, I'm going to say yes.
All right.
Because honestly, like if she can jump at 686 and what was it, a 204 in high jump?
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Those are 2 literally world class marks of their own right.
Yes.
I mean, she's a freak athlete elsewhere too, so it's I want to say, I don't know what the exact point differential is, but yeah, I hope that, you know, to see her break a world record.
Yes, I would like to see that too.
Even
though it would be both bad for me.
Yeah, because you can't say that you wouldn't be excited by 5.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why, like, I even made the bet in the first place, because either way, I kind of win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And then rounding out the Diamond League events, I think the discus throw for the women. I picked her. I picked Jaime Perez. She's been throwing pretty well.
Yeah, she has been. I also want to note that Sandra Perkovic was back today, back this weekend. After such a stellar year last year, she was kind of lackluster at the beginning of this year. And even though she didn't quite throw the same, I think she threw like a 68 or something last year. And
is it?
I don't know exactly what her mark was from last year, but she was putting up some amazing numbers and was untouchable last year. So it's kind of interesting to see that she's like not completely on top, because I'm curious to see how she'll respond.
That's true.
So yeah, like you said, win goes to Jaime Perez, or Yame. Hope I'm saying that right. 64.87. Yeah. Followed closely by Dania Caballero.
Yeah.
Caballero. I feel bad for butchering these names, but followed very closely by her fellow Cuban, 64.59.
Yeah.
So once again, repercussions for world champs. Who do you got? What's going on in
for discus?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a tough one. Right now, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be Perez.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the other on that. I'll take Perkovic.
All right.
I think that I don't remember exactly how she did in the Diamond League final last year. I do know that she won, but I don't know by how much.
Right.
But yeah, I'll take the reverse on that.
All right, cool. I think that was it for the Diamond League events.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention pretty quickly, though, is the 110 hurdles for men.
Right. Yep, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, so you go ahead then.
So we had, even though it wasn't a Diamond League event, we had a couple big names. We had Omar McLeod, Freddie Crittenden, and then Daniel Roberts. Mm-hmm. So it was a pretty stacked race. Omar McLeod won 13:21, so it wasn't anything close to sub 13. Daniel Roberts, I thought would be running quick times, but I think he hit the last hurdle there.
Yeah, he did.
And 13:48, so not too bad, but yeah. Omar
what was it that you said earlier? You said that Roberts could lift heavy legs and kick ass. Is that what you said? Because I don't know if he
I
exactly.
thought so, man. All right. Okay, it's just that Omar McLeod always disappoint. Well, not always, but he has disappointed us
Literally,
in the past.
he did it again though, because we bet against him again, and then he won. And then when he races again,
Yeah,
we'll bet on it.
exactly.
He'll lose.
Exactly.
There's no beating this guy.
Exactly.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I'm fed up with Omar McLeod, man. I'm sick of him.
yeah, me too, man.
I want no part in the men's 110 hurdles unless it's Daniel Roberts or Grant Holloway.
Right. I hope one of them, manages to pull off the win in Doha. But yeah, as you said, I don't know how likely that is given the length of their season. But I think they can make it work because they, compared to previous years, they do have more time between nationals and the World Championships.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of
we
nuts
shall
because
see.
I'm thinking, like, if this were you and me, we would still be competing at this point.
That's
like
right.
After
yeah.
having done everything that we did this season. That's really insane. That is such a long season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I'm about to get started training for next season, and they're still
exactly
technically competing
on
next
this
season, or like this season.
Yeah, and not even close to finishing because they still have like a month.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
talk
crazy.
to those guys.
Yeah. And then I think that was it with regards to the Diamond League.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything I got.
I had a couple things I wanted to say that were outside of the scope of Diamond League. So it has been a while since we had our last episode. So just a couple of things that have happened in the interim. Mihambo, Malaika Mihambo from Germany, she jumped 716 at the German Championships.
Oh man.
Or no, I think it was 7.
I think you're right. It was 716.
No, she jumped 716 somewhere, but I think so she jumped 716 in the German Championships. Yeah, no, it was 716 in the German Championship, and then followed that up the following week with 7.11 at the European Athletics like Super League event that they had. So earlier in the season we were talking about her like maybe it was a one-off that she jumped over 7 meters in that one Diamond League event, but she has cemented herself as like the real deal because she's gone over like 7 meters like 3 times this season, and just keeps edging, moving that mark further out. So she's really one to watch for World Championships if she stays in this kind of shape. And the long jump in general on the women's side seems to be really picking up in terms of heat because you have Mihambo, and then we had S.A. Bruma, who had I've never heard of her, and she jumped 7 meters at the African Championships. Recently, 7:05. That was on the 4th of August, and then we had Brittany Reese jumping 7 meters.
Brittany Reese, that's right.
Yeah, at national. So we now have like 3 people at this point in the season going over 7 meters, which is it definitely spells good things for the competition in Doha.
Smells.
And also on that note, Mihambo ran 11:21 in the 100 at the German Championships, which I thought like pretty impressive in its own right.
Yeah, I believe that placed her 3rd, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, very impressive athlete.
Mm-hmm. And then going to men's long jump, I think it was a couple days ago that the Japanese long jump record was broken.
Yes.
8.4.
Oh my god, we finally have someone jumping in the 840s.
Oh my god, Shotaro Shirayama. It's crazy. And I think it was a huge personal best for him. He has jumped like 803 before, I think. And he jumped over 8 meters a bunch of times, wind aided.
Yeah.
I think his furthest wind legal was 893 or 793 or something. And then actually, so I was looking at his results earlier, and in July, like end of July, he jumped 832 with a plus 5.0 win.
Wow. That is
and then now he jumped 840. Yeah. And so, like, you know how they say sometimes they say like you got to run the time when needed
Yeah.
first, and it really seems to be the case with this guy because he hadn't broken 8 meters when legal, and then he went 8:32 with plus 5.0, and then 2 weeks later he jumps 8:40 legal.
Wow,
So
good for him.
yeah, and like out of nowhere, like never heard of him, and 8.4 is it's
Yeah,
huge.
that's good.
At least.
That's a world lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally, Jeff Henderson is no longer in the driver's seat. Oh, finally. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, so that was good news.
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better to not have Jeff Henderson in charge anymore because now he's literally not even going to the World Championships.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, I think, those two things that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, you have anything else?
No, I think that about sums it up. One thing that I do want to say is that I'm looking forward to that USA versus Europe thing that's coming up next week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I'll be looking forward to that. And if I'm not mistaken, that's early September. I don't know whether it's before or after Paris, but that should be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, I think it's a new concept that they're trying out this year. I don't think it's happened in previous years.
I like.
I think it's basically a couple like a team from Europe, like from the European continent, and then a team from the US, and they're gonna duke it out. So yeah, I like the concept, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And like, I don't know if they're actually gonna have big names present there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but it would be nice if we had some good competition.
Yeah, and hopefully if it sticks around within the next couple of years, the names will get bigger and bigger that go to that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that sums it up for this episode.
Yeah, I think that's everything that I've got. So why don't you go ahead and take us out?
All right. So that has been Track Talk.
It has not been Track Talk.
Oh my God! It has been Watch the Clock.
You're good.
I'm
Dom.
And we shall see you next week after the Paris Diamond League. All right.